Hello and welcome. It's 3 p.m. India time or 9:30 GMT. First up, news from South Asia. Imran Khan's Pakistan Tehreek-i-Insaf is considering inviting the leaders of all the SAARC countries, including Prime Minister of India Narendra Modi, for his oath-taking ceremony as the premier next month. The PTI, led by 65-year-old Imran Khan, has emerged as the single largest party in the National Assembly after the 25 July election, but still short of numbers to form the government on its own. Imran Khan yesterday said that he will take oath as Prime Minister on the 11th of August. A leader of Khan's party said, and I quote, "The core committee of Tehreek-i-Insaf is considering inviting the South Asian Association of Regional Cooperation heads, including Mr. Modi, and a decision on this is expected shortly," unquote. All right, WION Siddhant Sibal joins us live from New Delhi. Good afternoon, Siddhant. Walk us through what are you hearing about these moves by both India and Pakistan to firm up the guest list for the inauguration of Imran Khan?
Well, as the PTI has been saying that there is a discussion going on whether to invite SAARC leaders, but it can be expected that invites will be given out to all the SAARC leaders. Remember, this is just following what the Indian Prime Minister did during his oath-taking ceremony. He invited all the SAARC heads of state and all of them came, including the Prime Minister, the then Prime Minister of Pakistan, Nawaz Sharif. So that can be expected this time around. We saw the Indian Prime Minister speaking to Imran Khan and congratulating him on the victory, and there is somehow many believe that it can be a big start of a new peace process, but it's too early to say that because we have seen that things haven't been good between India and Pakistan. We saw in past few years the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi went to Lahore, but what India got was Uri and Pathankot, and then there were surgical strikes also, and since then the dialogue process, the peace process has been in a freeze, and we have seen reports of track 2 diplomacy taking place, but as of now it seems that there might be a new beginning. Even from Afghanistan, the Afghan president Mr. Ghani was the first world leader to congratulate Imran Khan and call him to Kabul. So of course leaders, whether it's from Kabul or from India, will be keen to engage with the new Pakistani leadership, and we saw that MEA press release talking about how the new Pakistani government should make sure that it should work towards a more peaceful South Asia free of terror. Sources also tell us that India wasn't happy. In a sense, India took note of the fact that terror was missing from Imran Khan's speech the day after the election results were announced. He did talk about his relationship with China, with Afghanistan, with US, with Iran, and lastly with India. He talked about how trade should improve, but he raked up Kashmir and there was absence of terror. India's official policy last 4 years with Pakistan has been that talks and terror can't go together. The question is that will the new leadership in Pakistan be tough on state sponsorship of terror, something that has been troubling both India and Afghanistan.
Right, Siddhant, do stay on if you will. I'm now joined by WION's very own Anas Malik from Islamabad. Anas, good afternoon to you. What's the buzz around you at the moment as we speak? What are you picking up from your sources about the possible guest list for Imran Khan's inauguration? Will he or will he not invite the SAARC leaders, including Prime Minister Narendra Modi of India?
Absolutely, Ramesh. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's phone call to PTI Chief Imran Khan has been welcomed here in Pakistan for now. We've been seeing that is against the odds, primarily when in the past Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif was to meet Prime Minister Modi. We saw a lot of criticism that was followed on Nawaz Sharif, but this time the tides have changed, and Prime Minister Modi's phone call to Imran Khan has been welcomed by the pundits here. Not just that, Imran Khan's going ahead ahead in his inaugural speech, in his victory speech, and mentioning about India, that he wants peace ties with India. That too has been welcomed. But what we're picking up from our diplomatic sources, and the top diplomatic sources, is that Pakistan will is likely to formally invite the Indian Prime Minister once the assembly is convened, and that would be after the 4th of August, because the assembly will be convened after the 4th of August. Once the Election Commission of Pakistan issues the notification of the winning candidates, then the assembly will be convened, and once the assembly is convened, then the election of the Prime Minister will be held. So it's a long process, but what we're picking up from our sources, and these are top level diplomatic sources that are placed, who are telling WION about this development, that a decision between the two states, and there has been a formal correspondence between the two states. Now the word states has been used over here, the federation has been used, and not the government. So that is one thing that is very significant, what we're picking up from our diplomatic sources, that the two states of India and Pakistan have formally communicated, and that once the formal invite is received, only then it would be considered. But the formal invite would take roughly about another week or two. That would actually be after that invitation, or that notification of the Election Commission of Pakistan. Yes, Ramesh.
Also, Anas, when is Imran Khan likely to be administered the oath? Will it be on the 11th of August, or even before or after that?
Well, as of now, there is no date that has been confirmed as yet, Ramesh, because the notifications of the winning candidates are yet to arrive, are yet to be issued by the Election Commission. The date set for that is the 4th of August. After only that, the assembly will be convened. Now, according to the Constitution of Pakistan, the assembly has to be convened within 21 days of that notification. But Imran Khan had expressed his wish and desire that he would like to take oath in public on the 11th of August, before the 14th of August, that significant date of the independence of Pakistan. That is why we saw a statement yesterday as well from the caretaker Information Minister of Pakistan, Barrister Syed Ali Zafar Shah, and he said that either the assembly, the Prime Minister's election would be held by the 11th or the 12th of August. But as of now, no date has been decided as yet, primarily because the assembly hasn't been convened. One thing what is very significant, Ramesh, that has to be kept in mind is the fact that the Indian High Commission in Islamabad, what we're picking up.
All right, I'm told we've lost that link with Anas in Islamabad. We'll try to fix that in a bit. But if I can go back to my colleague who is standing by in New Delhi, Siddhant. Siddhant, yesterday we saw Prime Minister Modi call Imran Khan and congratulate him on his victory. That telephone call went down well with some policymakers in India, isn't it?
Well, it went down well, and of course both sides right now are keen to engage in development that's peaceful, that is a beginning of a new peace process. Of course, right now it's too early to say that, because India goes to election next year, and in this time it is really no point to start a entire new peace process, because you don't know the election results here in India. So that is something that will be kept in the mind of policymakers. But largely there is a certain level of engagement which is taking place, at least at the ground level, so that the situation does improve. We know that the situation at the LOC has deteriorated very badly, and both sides will be keen to resolve that, because that's impacting the local population there. But with new regime change in Pakistan, Imran Khan is a man who many believe has been selected by the army, and he will be on the same page as the army in Pakistan has been. That, of course, is a sigh of relief for New Delhi, because New Delhi, of course, will be keen to engage with both Rawalpindi and Islamabad, and it will be really good if both Rawalpindi and Islamabad are on the same page, because earlier we saw what happened. Nawaz Sharif, many say, suffered primarily because his peace overtures with India. Remember that famous visit by the Indian Prime Minister, the then Pakistani Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif was himself very keen to have positive ties with India. And during his interview with the Dawn newspaper, the now infamous interview, which actually has impacted Dawn itself, he said that the non-state actors from Pakistan are responsible for 26/11 in India. That was something that was an acknowledgement by the establishment here, by a person who was part of the establishment. But by and large, there is a willingness to engage with each other. We saw track 2 diplomacy taking place. The question is, will Pakistan act on terror? Because that has been the contentious issue. Last 4 years have been terrible, given the fact that there was so much activities taking place from Pakistan, impacting both India and Afghanistan, especially on the issue of terror. But we saw Pakistan doing nothing on the issue of terror. There, of course, was this fear of mainstreaming of terror ahead of the election. Thankfully, that did not happen, and Hafiz Saeed actually didn't got any votes there in Pakistan. So that is, of course, sigh of relief for policymakers. But the global pressure continues on Pakistan to act on terror groups that has been getting safe sanctuaries in its own territory.
All right, on that note, Siddhant Sibil in New Delhi and Anas Malik in Islamabad, thank you so much for joining us on this bulletin. Appreciate it. Right, moving on, top diplomatic sources to tell WION and claim that India is hopeful of a greater policy coherence under Imran Khan, as he would be on the same page as the Pakistani army. The Indian High Commission in Islamabad has been in close touch with Imran Khan's party for months now.